have not one, not two, not three, but 4 today's specials that are featuring today. But now we're going to move on to what's known as the WrapMaster. Now, a WrapMaster, how many of you have been wrestling with the wrap? You've been fighting with the foil, that's the cling wrap or the foil. You know what I mean? Like, who manufactures that stuff with a cutting edge? It really never works that well, and you waste so much. Seriously, it drives me nuts. This is a pack of 2. First of all, these will fit into the drawer, but all importantly, it's going to make sure that your cut of the wrap, of your foil, even the wax paper is going to be done perfectly. Get a pack of these, 2 of these, for $29.95. Now, colors. Oh, yes, we have colors. In fact, we've sold out on colors previously. We have the blue, we have the black, you have the red, we have the white, and we also have, sorry guys, well, I'm moving a little bit too quick. Sorry. So we have the aqua. We'll go there. How about that? We'll go with the aqua, then we'll move over here to the blue. Remember getting 2 of these, one for foil, one for plastic, or one for your wax paper. We have 2 black that's also available. We have the red, and we have the white. No wonder I was moving a bit too quick for you guys. We have the red and white. I like to keep everyone on their toes at 3 a.m. in the morning. A pack of 2 of these for $29.95. So it's like fighting with the foil. What I mean is that, you know, when you go ahead and pull out the foil and you're supposed to use that serrated edge, it never works right. How about this? When you actually finally get the tape off and start unraveling it, it starts all untangling itself and gets caught up there, and you end up wasting feet upon feet. Now, from memory, this will take up to 50 yards. Yeah, a 50-foot roll that will come along with this. So you're getting the 250-foot roll of foil, a 50-foot roll of the plastic wrap with these 2. Now, in their closed position like this, they'll fit into your drawer. So whether you're wrapping multiple items, the other thing is, maybe it's those larger items, maybe it's the platters, because we're into that time of year where we're entertaining, or we may be going to someone's place for a barbecue or a picnic. They say, oh, just bring a plate. Well, how many times have you done like a mummy, right? You've wrapped the plate, you've wrapped the platter 4 times over with the plastic and the foil to make sure that nothing's going to fall out. This is going to be literally like another set of helping hands in the kitchen, because you now have both for the foil or for the plastic to be able to make that perfect cut every single time. Whether it's a large piece, a small piece, it's so incredibly easy to do. And the colors, again, out that we have there. In fact, I think we've got Mr. John Florell right here demonstrating how to do. So again, load it up. I mean, this is a really easy way to be able to do this, because you just load it on up. There's no batteries, no nothing. But the cut on this is perfect every single time. And all you do is just pull it out, pop it down, hey presto, pure precision across the line. Could be a much thinner piece, could be a much larger piece. You see, of course, the safety thing, of course, the teeth is hidden right underneath. But now you have 2. You have one for either your foil, one for your plastic wrap, or one for your wax paper. They work synonymous with each of them for $29.95. And you'll see here as we go through and demonstrate of going ahead and wrapping up. In fact, we're going to do some potatoes, I believe, here. So you're doing multiple potatoes. Look at him go. He won't stop, this young man, when it comes to wrapping up goodies with the WrapMaster. The other thing too, you notice at the top of the screen there, the customer pick, the star review there. We have sold thousands of these here at HSN, and people have not only thought, well, that could be handy, that could save me some money, that could save me some stress in the kitchen. They've not only purchased it, they've then come back to our website unsolicited and gone to hsn.com and put in the reviews on this one, because this is where it, you know, one of the things that we strive to do here at HSN is if there's a challenge that you have within the household, then we try to find the solution. And this is one of the things. Plastic, foil, how about environmentally, the environmental impact of it? If you're using way too much of it, throwing out way too much that you don't necessarily need to do, using way too much for the platters. Now you've got a way of being able to, I guess, have a little bit more control on the amount of plastic and foil and wax paper they're using. And all it needs is one flex pay of $5.99. Remember that with all these items that we've shown, I mean, I don't think we've really had anything incredibly expensive in this 10 faves this morning. You do flex pays on every single item. Here you go, wrapping up some chook, the good old chicken, wrapping it up, getting ready for the barbecue, or maybe it's storage. Because we also talk about here about the spoilage of food and how important it is to make sure that you're eliminating the oxygen and moisture. Well, again, if you're wrapping it up and not doing it properly, then of course you get freezer burn, you get all sorts of things that go on with this. But you notice here is John using it. All you have to do is just pull that through. So simple to pull it out. You go ahead and pop it down. Any food that you pop in there, whether it be fruit, whether it be vegetable, whether it be meats, poultry, seafood, wraps it up so easily and makes your life simpler. And more importantly, gives you free time and you're not wasting your money. Remember getting a pair of these. I'll go through the colors again. We're on the black, so we'll start with the black. We have the pair of the black. We have the black. We then move across here to the blue. We also have the aqua, which we'll also move to right over here, getting a pair of these. Whether one's for foil, one's for wrap, or one's for your wax paper. We have the 2 of the white, and we also have the 2 of the red. One flex pay, $5.99. Think about the money that you may have wasted on that foil. Don't go on wrestling with